Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. For the love of glitter, I'm Anna Crossland. Throughout this video I feel like I'm kind of whispering because my son is napping and sometimes that's a rarity, and so you really have to be quiet because he hears everything. So I'm sorry if the whisper is annoying, but it's the only way I'll get through this video. So if you don't know about BuzzKit, BuzzKit is basically, if you like reviewing things, they will send you things in exchange for review. This one I didn't have to do a video on, but I chose to because they sent a lot of product from this brand called IsaDora Cosmetics. So this is given to me from BuzzKit, IsaDora, and Walgreens, so I'm guessing it's available at Walgreens. I personally have never heard of this company before, but I was so excited when I saw that they sent almost a whole full face of makeup because I was like, I've always wanted to do a full face of first impressions, but it's so expensive to do. Thank you guys so much for sending this. They even sent a cute little bag, so it's all together here. So if you're interested in learning about a drugstore brand called IsaDora and seeing how everything worked on my face, then just keep watching. So it did come with a makeup sponge, and this one says wet with water, blah blah blah, used in bouncing motion. So we will try it. It's called the IsaDora Makeup Blender Sponge. It's almost like feels like it needed to be damp more in the middle, but feels almost like a Real Techniques type of consistency. We're gonna start off with the foundation. This is in the shade 14 Sand. This is called the Active All Day Wear Makeup. It's supposed to be able to last for 24 hours, and it's wet and humidity proof. So this does have like a pump, which I felt so stupid. The first time I took it off, I accidentally twisted the whole thing off, and I was like, I didn't see the pump part, and this is all I saw, and I was like, how do you use this? I actually had to look up pictures online. I feel really dumb, like I said, and then I was like, oh, it's a pump. Okay. And it comes with 1.2 fluid ounces, so 0.2 more than normal foundations. I don't know if I'm supposed to do this, but I'm gonna do it. It's oil free. It doesn't say anything about the coverage. I hope this color works okay for me. I really don't know. I'm just gonna pump it straight onto my sponge. It's very liquidy. I don't know if it's the sponge I'm smelling or the foundation, but something smells a little weird. Okay, this color might work. We'll see. I feel like in the winter time this would match me really well. It does seem to be evening out your skin tone, but a lighter coverage. But it is blending in nicely, and it is a skin finish. Like, I don't see anything weird happening with my skin. I'll have to test it out, see if it dries down completely. I'll touch it here in a little bit. I can't really tell. Yeah, it looks very natural on the skin. It's really just gonna even out your skin tone, which I don't mind, especially in the summer or for just like running errands or every day. Like, I don't need full coverage every day. I don't really care, you know, if my skin looks perfect. But we will see if it's buildable. Like, it doesn't cover my big moles or even my freckles. It just, again, overall kind of even skin tone appearance, but it does lay pretty nicely on the skin. It doesn't feel like it's dried down completely yet, but we're gonna try adding another layer. It does remind me of almost more of like I don't want to say tinted moisturizer because I feel like those don't really stick well on the skin, but it just, you know, it looks like the coverage might be buildable. This was an extra pump. I mean, I don't know if I wouldn't consider this really medium still. Like, you would definitely need to conceal things if you wanted to cover up marks on your face, but it does a really good job at evening it all out. The thing I really like about it is it blends. I'm going to add a little more to my forehead. It blended out really nicely, and yeah, it looks really nice on the skin. Just very natural finish. I think it is starting to, it's a little tacky still, so we'll have to see here in a moment. It feels very lightweight though too, which is nice. But I think overall it's one of the most skin finished looking foundations I honestly have ever used. This might be a good go-to summer foundation for me. I do really like the packaging as well. I really like pumps, but then I also like that it's a squeeze tube pump, because when it's like easier to get all the liquid out. I kind of hate when it's a glass bottle and you're like kind of shaking out the last drop. You know what I mean? So far the foundation I'm impressed with. Let's see. They didn't send me a powder, so I don't think I'm going to powder, but they did send me a face sculptor, but I think I'm going to kind of let this set a little more before we move on to that. So we're actually going to do the eyes, I think, and they sent me this eyeshadow palette, and it's just a little quad, and this one is called Muddy Nudes. Super just neutral colors that I feel like a lot of people could wear anytime. So let's watch these. So Muddy Nudes. If I'm being honest, this like compact doesn't scream like that exciting to me, but hey, the pigment payoff is pretty good. I will say two of the shades look quite similar. Those two, oh, I swatched those in really bad spots, but these two darkest brown shades look almost identical. Yeah, they literally look the same now. I wonder if mine was an accident. You guys, that looks like, right? Like in pan one looks like it could be a little lighter. I do not know. I don't know. So, weird. Okay, I'm gonna take my blending brush and we're gonna start off with this. They actually feel very creamy though. Very creamy and nice. And jeez. And like, don't go too, dipping too hard in. I feel like this foundation is starting to match my skin tone a little better now that it's setting. I don't know. Literally doing this part without a mirror right now. Okay, so that shade I didn't expect to like change my look that much because it's almost just like a shade darker than my skin tone. Now I guess we're gonna go into the shade, I think it's the lighter one. I cannot tell. I can say a lot of product gets picked up, so be careful. But they are very creamy and very blendable, I will say that. So I didn't really have like high hopes for these shadows, but they're actually performing pretty well. I feel like with this quad, there's not much else you can do creative-wise. This is like good for someone who does the same look like every single day and doesn't want to think about it and just wants to add color to their eyelids. Specifically nude color. That's who this would be good for. I kind of doubt this shade's gonna help deepen anything up, but we'll try it. I could be completely surprised. Yeah. But the quality's great. It's helping deepen a little bit. It is. More than I thought. Definitely more like taupey browns. Cool tone browns. Maybe not taupey, but cool tone. Okay, so this is in the shade 01 Warm Peach, and all the shades look beautiful. It feels pretty soft. It doesn't look like it's gonna be, it looks more like not a shimmery highlight, but more just like a powder to brighten your look. Oh jeez, that's so pigmented. Black eyeliner. Okay, wish me luck. This tip is kind of nice because you know how some are like way too stiff? It has just enough give. Like literally just enough. It's kind of the perfect in between. Guys, I'm so bad at putting on eyeliner. But it's almost like the very tip is bendy, but then the rest of it is stiff. So I actually really like the applicator. I just stink at putting on liquid eyeliner. I'm not even gonna do a wing right now because at the rate I'm going. Oops, I like wiped that off when I did that. And I don't think this is really glossy though. It's also not the most pigmented. It was a little bit patchy in some areas, but the applicator is nice. And if it really is waterproof, that's nice too, for me. I like can't do not waterproof things because my eyes water a lot when I'm tired. I think I also have allergies living in Illinois. Alright. So that is the eyeliner. I really like the applicator of this. Now we have mascara. What? Whoa, hold on. I'm so confused. There is this like nozzle that moves. What is that? Okay, I gotta open this up. This is expandable. Oh, it's an expandable brush. Weird. Stretch lash mascara. Okay, so it's like those rubber. It's like those rubber wands. Let's see what happens when I twist. Oh. Oh, that's interesting. Let's try it. I'm not gonna twist it up yet, so it's at its full length so far. Wow, it's going on real, like, you know how some mascaras when you first get it, it's really dry. This one seems very liquidy, and my lashes have been having a really hard time getting any lift. And I actually am really digging this so far. It actually is giving it some lift. Okay, and then we're gonna obviously have to, yeah, it coats it really nicely. It's not waterproof though. Okay, so I'm making it smaller. We'll see what happens there. This is so strange. I don't really know if it's making a difference or just adding more pot. I don't know. I know that I really like this mascara so far. I might have to see if they sell a waterproof kind, but yeah, normally like to get my lashes lifted like this, I have to use a this is such a weird wand. I have to use a eyelash curler. I like didn't even get to my whole lower lash line with that eyeliner. Squish, squish, squish. It's still very wet on the other side. Okay, this is a very wet mascara. Gotta let it dry. This is the strangest brush I've literally ever seen. And I mean, I think it kind of helps because I think when you scrunch it, it does help kind of lift a little bit. It's just so weird. Okay, so since I don't think that this is gonna dry down anymore, we're gonna go ahead and go into this. Hopefully it'll be okay. I would definitely powder with this foundation. So this might seem weird. We're gonna start off with the highlighter because guess who left their face brushes not down here? Me. Okay, super powdery, but you can just tap it off. Oh, definitely not really for darker skin tones. So I was a little bit worried that it would look super powdery, but I don't think it does. And it seems to almost have like a little bit of a pinky tone to it. It's actually really pretty. I still would go over it with like a wet beauty blender, but I do that anyways. For the lip gloss, this is a lip gloss stick moisturizing lip filler in Toffee Pop, and it's just like one of those crayon glosses. Doesn't smell like anything. It smells kind of like sweet. It has tiny flecks of glitter. So that feels really nice. I would definitely have make sure that the foundation was like off my lips before I started putting this on because it's not super pigmented. It's kind of like a sheer wash. This specific color is definitely like a gray, more like cool tone nude color, so it looks kind of gray like on your lips. It feels so glossy and good though. Okay, I'm gonna get face brushes. We're gonna go into the bronzer and blush, kind of just basic bronzer blush shades. Nothing too crazy. We'll see how it does on top of the foundation because it is sticky. So it's again very powdery, so you're just gonna wanna get rid of the excess. This is definitely more of a bronzer. It has a lot of warmth to it. It's weird because on the monitor I feel like it looks so warm and like you can totally see a line, and in person I feel like it's the opposite. I feel like you can't really see a distinct line. It's really nice. It just, yeah, it blended into the skin really nicely and it doesn't look powdery or anything. Now let's go into the blush. Wow, these are really smooth powders. Everything just looks really good together and everything blended so good. I'm gonna kind of go over each product and what I think. I think the sponge was good. I don't have anything negative to say about it. Depending on the price, I would repurchase this because it worked just fine, like a Real Technique sponge, which is one of my favorite drugstore ones. This foundation, I really like the coverage because it's great for when you want more natural, and it has a very skin-like finish. I love everything about the packaging as well, and I do feel like the price is pretty similar to a lot of drugstore foundations nowadays, but this one's actually a really good one. Will it go through sweat and humidity proof? If it does, then it just makes it that much better. And yeah, I'm excited to see how well this fares. Maybe one day I'll do a more in-depth review, like kind of like a wear test, but I do really like it. And even though it feels like tacky, everything's still applied on top of it smoothly. Like it didn't start like getting stuck and hard to blend out. Everything's still blended out fine. But if you don't like a tacky feeling, I would definitely powder, but I was just really impressed because when I put on every other powder, it just worked just fine. So this is something I would think about repurchasing depending on how well I like it from here on out. This eyeshadow quad, I have nothing bad to say about it other than I thought two shades were the same, but they ended up not being exactly the same. They're just super similar. I don't really buy quads like this very often anymore, but definitely if you're like minimal makeup type person, I think this would be great, and the quality was really great as well. So again, depending on the price, I would highly recommend this. And yeah, I had no problems. They just worked really nicely. They were super creamy and easy to blend. Okay, this mascara, I'm seriously gonna have to see if they sell a waterproof one, because I do really like this mascara. It is one that stays wet longer, which sometimes I don't like, because if you open your eyelashes it might mess up your whole makeup look, but it did a great job at lifting my lashes, and it just, I really like it. So this is something I would repurchase with my own money. This is probably the only thing I wouldn't repurchase. I used to be really into these like stick glosses, but not as much anymore. I don't really like this specific shade, but this is great for also someone who's like minimal makeup, because it gives you just the right amount of color and gloss, and it's comfortable, and like you could do this with no mirror type of thing. I feel like if there was like a more neutral shade where it was almost just sheer, I probably would like that more. There's nothing bad about it, it's just not something that I personally would go out and buy right away. This eyeliner had good things and some not so good things. So I did notice that it was skipping a little bit, like a little bit streaky, like it'd be really pigmented and then less pigmented. Not dry, it was super wet, but for some reason it would skip. But I do love the applicator on this, and if it's waterproof, that's awesome too. So this would be a kind of test out more type of thing to depend on if I were to purchase it again in the future. Lastly, we have this face sculpting kit, and I must say these powders blended flawlessly together. The blush wasn't like the most pigmented, but I know some people don't really necessarily want the most pigmented blush in the world. The highlighter was a little bit powdery, but it's nothing you can't work with. I feel like it's really awesome for travel because you have your bronzer, blush, and highlighter all right there. Definitely not my favorite highlighter, but again, you can work with it, and everything just, again, blended so great together. So this would be a maybe, possibly, depending on the price, if I would repurchase it again. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you to BuzzKit and Walgreens and IsaDora for sending me all these lovely products to test out for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video as well. I have never heard of IsaDora before, so I feel like it was cool to include it in my channel because it's just something new. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe if you liked this video.